See? And you got it going on. Give me some of your thug passion.
You say the bomb a lot.
I say the bomb. Or I do done and I do the emoji bomb.
Like it's 94 up in here. Hi, this is Byron Lazine and Nicole White. You are tuned into episode 4 of The Real Word.
I'm glad you remembered because I feel like it should be 8.
Yeah,
because of our double takes.
Yeah, a couple of retakes.
But look,
out of the gates.
We have something to celebrate.
Nicole's
today.
legit, finally.
I'll cheers to it.
You know, she could have had that stand last time, but she chose to go another direction. So
for shizzle,
yeah,
is that what you're sticking to?
Absolutely. So if you're new to the show, what we do here, we are real estate agents, local to Connecticut. That's where we operate most of our business. So if you're new to the show, what we do is we pick an industry, something happening in the industry. We give you our word, our take, our 2 cents, whatever you want to call it.
Our opinion.
There you go.
We're not news.
On that topic.
Right.
And then we take somebody's final word, somebody from usually within the industry. We've got a great one today. Jeremy Cady from Atlanta, Georgia sent in a question.
It could be really from anybody.
Yeah.
We got one from like a home inspector.
Yeah.
I sent over the other day.
Which we may do on another show.
Time.
But Jeremy's question's about the big box brokerages. So we're going to break that down here in just a bit. But the one that we picked, I think, is super interesting.
It's rather interesting.
It's the beast out there, Amazon. So Amazon wants the keys to your home.
Your home.
This is trending on Inman.
Oh, it came out just today.
Right on the top. So basically, Amazon Key is the name of this.
Well, you have to be an Amazon Prime member.
Yep.
First, for like, what is it? What did we find? It was like $100 to be an Amazon Prime member. And then, they want you to buy an Amazon Key.
Yeah, so the Amazon Key is $249.99.
Which is like crazy.
But that's a one-time fee, right?
Right. Well, but what they're saying is that this will enhance the security of your packages. So their delivery people will have access to your home through this Amazon Key. I mean, we were chatting about this before. I mean, I'm buying like maybe
toothpaste,
lotion. I mean, I'd rather save my if there's a robber that wants to steal my toothpaste.
But to be fair, there's a lot of people buying a ton of stuff on Amazon.
Shit tons of things for sure. So so the $249 is a one-time fee for you to get this key at your house, and then the delivery guy could have an app which
has a smart lock, an Amazon Cloud Cam indoor security camera.
Oh, that's good. So I didn't read that.
Offers an option. So you're not reading the articles
now. Well,
there we go.
I read it. I guess I missed that.
Offers an option for free installation. So basically, there's an app. Yeah, the guy can come in, get into the house, or the gal, whoever it is, can easily get into the house and drop the package off. This is really for more security of the packages, right? Because it's not being left on the front porch, and the whole thing. So where's the concern? It's obviously going to be, well, what about the security of my home, the stuff in my house? But in the real estate industry, this is happening every single day, and it's not with some fancy lock most of the time. It's with one of those combinations. They actually take the key out.
Right.
They use your key to get into your house. And, 99% of the time, the person opening that door is a stranger to the homeowner.
Right. I mean, they're an agent, and obviously there's responsibilities that come along with that. But yes, they are a stranger to the homeowner. I will say that, unfortunately, I mean, and maybe I'm stretching here, but I almost feel like 50% of the time, maybe that's a stretch. Maybe I'll say 30% of the time, I actually do get calls sometimes that like, hey, Nicole, like the back door wasn't locked when the last agent left. Or
no, not 50% of the time.
I said 30. I downscaled a little bit.
Give the agents a little credit.
No, but but there's also, you're also like talking and, selling and, if someone else is going out a different door, another door. And I mean. Or
you just have like a newer agent, they're trying to make an impression and they're not even thinking about all the the lights and we get it all the time.
So go ahead.
No, you go.
No, you go. I'm gonna.
You can't do that to me.
Sorry, go ahead.
That's all right.
Knocking you off your game?
Yeah, you did knock me off my game. That's all right. So it does happen all the time. That being said, you're supposed to be adhering to your code of ethics. We hear it. People have gone into homes. They've stolen stuff before. It probably will be an issue with Amazon, although it sounds like they're going to have a little bit more security with the camera feature.
Tons of security, but I think what's also really cool though too is I bet, like, as a homeowner, you can also sort of change the code a few times.
Yeah.
I think what's really cool, too, is that you can then, it sounds like then others can also get this app, too. So if you have a dog walker, maybe you give them, like, a one-day code that day. Or they were even talking about, like we talked about last week, Airbnbs. You're doing an Airbnb, instead of worrying about a key being put back or there being a lockbox or
you repair people,
whatever
all that.
It is. So you can then, right.
And so there are features like this in the real estate, right? You've got Tor, August Home, Prem Point, all these different features.
Yeah, we have an electronic key too.
Yeah, and some of the some of those.
Although they've
got the ones in our marketplace, you can turn it on and off and do a one-time code for people, but you're still literally taking out the actual key from that box,
right?
Putting it into the door. I like smart door features, and I think this is going to be the first big, like, smart feature to the structure of your home that really takes off, that everybody starts to adapt, because it is easy for your neighbors, your friends, your family, all these types of people to have the app to get into your house.
And Amazon is doing it. So I feel like it's like the biggest distributor of all goods ever. So I think that people have been talking about a smart key sort of situation. I watch Shark Tank like religiously, like in the middle of the night. I feel like there's been a few people that have been trying to push like some sort of key of this nature, but obviously with Amazon sort of paving the way. I mean, it could originally, when you brought up the article, I was like, oh man, that's BS. Like, it's not even fun. But the more that I'm sitting here and sort of
no fun
and sort of marinating in the idea of an electronic key, it's good actually. Yeah. Like and I got 3 kids. So
I definitely want
my kid needs to get in, or oh my goodness, I forgot that it was a half day.
I definitely want a smart door feature in my home. And I do think if you're selling your home, this would be a good feature to have for $250. Say, hey, let's forego the old traditional lock and the lockbox, and let's use this feature and be able to track who's coming in and out and the whole thing. So
that would be an interesting conversation though too. Like, are you, like the agent, paying $250 for your seller to have the key? Or are you? I
would say that the homeowner would pay for it as a nice closing gift for the buyers.
Wow, look at you! Good
and then
little
transfer
spin
it over.
There. Good little spin.
But no, I do think it's a good feature. It does open up the door for Amazon to now get into a lot of different, and we already know they're doing it, especially with the contractor page that they have up. A lot of different venues. They're going to continue to crack in. It's just another example why agents. We need to stay ahead of the curve,
right?
Because Tor is the prime example, right, of this, of getting people into the home easier, and the homeowners can put this. Now, you still have to know who's coming into your house, and you really don't if it's an agent, but at least you know that there is some type of code of ethics.
I'm sure that there'll be some sort of function. I'd like to think that there'd be some sort of function that if you are able to access the home, maybe you get an email that someone has entered using that code. Maybe like you would get a different code as opposed to like this other person. So like my dog walker would have one code, and then whomever would have a different code. I think the fact that there is the camera on there, it's pretty kick-ass. I mean, I think it's again, sitting here and marinating in all of it. I think it's.
You like to marinate.
I do. I marinate quite often, but I think it actually is like.
Let's get into the final word. You ready for the final word?
I'm ready.
All right. Let's roll the question.
Byron and Nicole, it's Jeremy Cady from Metro Atlanta, Georgia. Hope everyone is awesome. I have a question for you guys for the show. A few years ago, we all saw what happened to the real estate industry, and that is where individual agents sought the refuge of in the protection of their business by joining a team. And they did that because I think teams have the momentum, teams have the volume, teams have the ability to help create businesses for individual agents. So we've seen that over the past few years. It's been a big pull in this industry. But what I'm seeing today, I think a lot of people are seeing, is now teams, it feels like teams are starting to join teams to ultimately hedge themselves against the bigger onslaught of a changing market, a changing digital market. And the result of that, I feel like, could be a very interesting scenario for the big box brokerages around the nation. So my question is this: is instead of being all doom and gloom like some agents are and say, hey, the real estate industry is going to completely be ruined. I don't think it is. I think there's always going to need an agent. There's always going to need to be help. My question is what do you see happening in the future of the real estate space when big box brokerages start losing tons of agents to teams that sit at virtual brokerages for virtually no fees all around the nation, and ultimately create super teams around the nation that don't need the backing and the support of a big box brokerage that still does business the way it was done 15 years ago? So that's my question. What do you see that doing to the industry? I see it as a good thing. Love to hear your take on that, because I think it's coming. I think it's coming quickly. Hope you both are well. Bye-bye.
Whew.
There's a lot there,
wow.
JC. Thank you for the question, too, by the way,
Yeah, and thank
Jeremy.
you for doing another video. I heard that there was the original video that only included Byron.
Well, I didn't want Nicole to get upset for a second episode in a row where she was not included. But JC is looking forward to meet you at some point.
Oh, good.
He told me that, by the way.
Oh, boy.
So I know I was in the room. I'm pretty certain Jeremy was in the room in 2015, I think it was. Spencer Raskoff, CEO of Zillow, said at that time, over the next 3 years, you're going to see 100,000 new teams in real estate. We're basically in 2018 right now. We're in almost November of 2017. We've seen that. To Spencer's prediction, we've 100% seen a total outburst of teams. People are leaving their solo career, joining teams.
Teams joining teams.
Right?
Yeah.
We're an example.
We are an example.
So, and I'm right there with Jeremy, with Spence, like all the industry leaders. Now, all of them aren't. I'm pretty far out when I say this, because not all of them will go this far. I think the solo agent is dead. I don't think there is really a need for the solo agent. I mean, granted, if you want to,
no need. It's like big drop.
I mean,
no
yeah,
need.
I really,
no need for ya. What?
I mean, a need. You want to do 3, 4, 5 deals a year as a solo agent, go for it. I don't think it's the best thing for the consumer to have a solo agent that's specializing in everything, as opposed to working on a team that has individuals specializing in certain aspects of the transaction, because there's a lot: marketing, negotiation, analytics, paper, all these different things.
The marketing
administrative
itself,
marketing.
I mean, holy flip.
There is just a lot to it, right? So I know if I'm listing my home, I want to list it with a team 100%. But what do you think, Nicole, to Jeremy's point, when some of these teams really start to get big, right? Because we're seeing some of them get bought out right now, by the way, because the brokers are seeing this coming, the big box brokerages. But to Jeremy's point, if they're going to go that EXP model, this online brokerage, lower fees, which EXP, by the way, doesn't have low fees. They're like an 80-20 split. So I don't consider that a low fee.
Right.
What do you see if these teams really get big and they start to take more control in the industry?
Well, I think that no matter what, I'm pretty certain that these big box brokerages will definitely adapt. I think they'll see that they need to sort of move their model in order to maintain their agents. They're not.
Some of them aren't moving very quick right now.
No, but I think that there are. I mean, I feel like the brokerage that we're with is adapting a little bit. Maybe they're giving a bigger split. Maybe they're giving you perks. Throwing you some marketing dollar. Maybe they're throwing you some admin dollar. I think those are great ways for them to adapt, especially because I think they know that as a team, though, too, to then, if we were to break off sort of onto our own, that adds a whole nother layer of responsibility.
Yeah.
Because now you're no longer actually leading a team. You're kind of, and I hate to say building a business because you already are, but now you have to be the boss. I didn't get into real estate to be a manager necessarily. I didn't get into real estate to make sure that, the things on the thing, for unemployment, the things on the thing,
Oh, the employment laws. No, I mean, I think you're taking on a whole nother layer of liability. I do think, to Jeremy's point, that there's going to be massive disruption for some or one or two of the big box brokerages. I wouldn't be surprised if on the next downturn you see one of the big names fall. I'm not going to make a prediction who.
No, right.
But I certainly wouldn't be surprised when the market drops again that you see one of these big names drop.
Yeah.
And some companies, and I'll use Jeremy's a Keller Williams agent. I'll use them as the example. They've done really well adapting to the team mindset.
They're handing out the Kool-Aid.
The Kool-Aid's red, and it's good, I hear.
Loving it.
Every time I go to a Keller Williams office, I'm like, man, why don't you guys just have
big, inspirational things on the wall? You feel juiced up.
Badass offices.
Yeah.
I wish instead of the water fountain, they would just do red Kool-Aid.
Gotta.
It's pretty cool what they've done, especially from a team aspect. Other brokerages have had to play catch up to some degree.
Right.
To them. I think EXP's obviously set up differently, no brick and mortar. But allows you to build a team however you want. I don't understand their split with what they offer.
Well, I think though too, I think we had talked about it.
My EXP peeps are gonna come out. I love my EXP
Well, I just saw yesterday that their stocks went through the roof and people are talking about selling. But anyway, we had talked about it in take one though too. I think though that I think that in a lot of the real estate big brokerages, I don't think they're really making that much money off of the agent. I think that a lot of them own mortgage companies. Yeah. So I think that as long as
doubt.
Yeah, I know
most of them are making mortgage and insurance money.
Oh, absolutely. And they're not making any money off of the agent, but they're making money indirectly off of us because obviously we're the ones, supplying them with the buyers. Exactly. Yep. So I think that as much as maybe we think that the big boxes will close down, I don't think that they necessarily will, because I think that their mortgage end will continue to feed them money to keep the real estate end going. And again, they'll have to just adapt a little bit to the changing.
There's just not enough. There's one pizza, right? And there's going to be 8 slices, right? So as Redfin maybe gets a half a slice, or maybe they get a whole slice, right?
Oh, they'll definitely.
Somebody's got to move over. Somebody's business gets smaller, or somebody gets pushed out. And the big box, they've got the majority right now. So they're the easiest target.
Right.
They're the ones people are looking to disrupt.
Right.
To Jeremy's point, teams in different locations, expanding, growing these mega teams, low split online. I think that you're just basically becoming a brokerage. You need to have a differentiator if you're really going to create some massive change. I see it happening already. Some teams, different locations are merging. It'll continue to happen. They have to pull off culture still, right? Like EXP has done a decent job.
I think you're kind of obsessed.
With EXP?
I think you've said EXP more than you said Nicole this episode.
Just getting jealous. They've done a decent job of getting their peeps to drink the EXP Kool-Aid.
Right.
Right? Like I made a post about our question on, I think it was Rockstar Agents Closed Group page.
Oh, yeah, about office and no
about
office.
The offices, which we talked about in episode 3.
Yeah.
There's 145 comments, and the EXP people came out of the woodworks like, don't need an office, don't need an office, don't need an office. Now, though, a lot of those are the solo agents that are still hanging on for dear life, which I think will be dead in 5 years.
Right.
Which will be out of the business in 5 years, because they're thinking small. They're thinking, oh, geez, I don't need an office. I can work out of my car. I can do a minimum amount of deals. I can ship my 20% to EXP. They're not thinking like a business. That's why I've always had massive respect for a lot of the big teams in RE/MAX. Those big teams that operate under the RE/MAX model are true entrepreneurs. They're business people.
Well, and I'm sure most of those teams are also with RE/MAX, you can open up a franchise. So you also are gaining the leverage of the big RE/MAX name. So I think it's hard to sort of underestimate the fact that there is still some wonderful leverage to be under a Coldwell Banker, brand, or a Sotheby's, or in our area it's Ravis, because there's sort of that global outreach that maybe as a team we can get there, but goodness, we have all these other arms already there, so just sort of hop on their back and take the ride.
And it depends on what price range you're in, right? If you want to play in the Luxe price range, then you better have connections in the major outlets, the major luxury outlets in the country, whether that's because you're just a massive networker and you're spending half the year on the road meeting those people, or you're with a brokerage that's going to enable those connections for you.
Right.
You can't sell luxury property by having one office in one small town and having no connections globally or nationally. It's just not going to work. So leveraging the big brands can help you get there quicker.
Definitely, I think so. But thank you, Jeremy. That was
fun. No matter what JC, there's massive disruption and change coming. It's all going to be good. I agree with you. They're going to need an agent going back to our last problem, somebody still has to open up, or not problem, but topic. Somebody still has to open up that Amazon door, advise, consult, navigate the marketing approach. There's just so many different steps to the real estate process. So not going away yet.
Not yet.
All right. If you've got a final word, please drop us an email. Brian will put up the emails somewhere.
It'll be here.
Be right here.
Oh, in my face? It's going to be in my face?
Brian will put up the emails. You can always send us an email. If you're listening to the podcast, look for the link below. And any
Even
topic.
in the comments. I like it in the comments.
I like it in the comments
video
too.
In the comments. I like comments.
Absolutely. Drop us a comment if you like the show. If you don't like the show, thumbs up, thumbs down. We really don't care. We'd love to just hear your feedback.
Or if you guys just want to celebrate the fact that I have a microphone stand, I'm super
Nicole
thrilled.
is now super legit.
In the house.
But absolutely, it doesn't even have to be a question. It can just be, hey, can you talk on this topic? Love to hear your 2 cents. So that's it. That's the word.
It's the final word.
Word.
See ya.